Hello, hello! Today we are talking about my Rakdos control deck. It's a Bracket 2 deck that can very much compete with Bracket 3 decks as long as they still care about creatures, as the goal of the deck is to repeatedly kill your opponent's creatures and get some value for doing so. And while that probably sounds like it would be incredibly boring to play against and pilot, it's not. You're using cards like Slaughter Specialist and Vein Ripper, so you're not just killing creatures just to kill creatures. Every single death gets you value, and the more value you get, the closer you get to killing your opponents. I will have the deck list both on screen, and I will leave it in the description if you want to build the deck yourself. So anyway, let's talk about the specifics. Let's start with the commanders. Falthis, affectionately known as Crazy Cat, gives commanders you control Menace and Death Touch, and is a 3-mana 2/2. Jeska is a 3-mana Planeswalker that enters the battlefield with a loyalty counter for each time you have cast a commander from the command zone this game. She has a 0 for choose a creature. It does triple damage to players that are not you. And then -X, she deals X damage to each of up to 3 targets. The Jeska's down tick reads -1, do 1 damage to 3 targets. And then any creatures just die because of the death touch. Alternatively, say we don't have Falthis, say Falthis got killed. We also have a couple backups. In Maha, it's Feather's Knight, and Horobi, Death's Wail. Maha is the closest to Falthis, as it gives Jeska the ability to downtick for 1, destroy 3 creatures that do not have a +1/+1 counter, or is receiving a +1/+1 buff from like a Lord effect or like a Glorious Anthem. So a little bit less like targets than Falthis, but she's a much better attacker and has a ward cost, so harder to get rid of, or more annoying. Horobi's really interesting. Horobi is a 4-mana 4/4 flyer with whenever a creature becomes the target of a spell or ability, destroy it. So you go -0 on Jeska. Target 3 creatures, they take 0 damage, and Horobi goes, destroy it. The downside with Horobi, opposed to the other two, is you can now no longer give a creature triple damage to not you, which is sad. There's also, this does affect your creatures, so say someone goes Giant Growth your Horobi. Horobi dies. Jeska and then one of these 3 is the best way to kill a lot of specific creatures at once, whereas a sack effect does let you get 4 creature deaths, 3 that your opponent's, 1 is yours, but you cannot specifically choose which creature dies. With this, you can. And they can be controlled by the same player. So the deck has a few main ways of winning. One of them is just cast Jeska, -X, where X is her loyalty, shoot your opponents for a bunch of damage, recast Jeska, do it again, which is a slow but just consistent way of bolting down your opponents. Also using Jeska, you can do stuff like 0 her on either a big creature one of your opponent's controls and go, you should get that guy. That works. People like the sound of triple damage. Or targeting some of your own things, like a Hunted Horror, Rottenmouth Viper, or Clackbridge Troll. Clackbridge, if you triple on Clackbridge, if they don't block it, it does 24 damage. And odds are, if you just go like Clackbridge, yeah, your opponents can sack a creature so it doesn't attack. But if you look at 2 of your opponents and go, I'm going to get that guy, don't sack a creature, please, odds are they won't. So it's just if the the other opponent can't sack a creature, 24 damage. That's a lot. 21 with Hunted Horror, or 18 plus the attack trigger on Rotten Mouth. You can also, still with the Jeska 0 makes us a lot stronger. Stuff like Malakir Cullblade, Slaughter Specialist, or especially like Eternal Thirst or Necrosynthesis on either Falthis or Plague Myr. These 4 cards allow you to just go, this card's going to get really big really fast. And if it's a Plague Myr, that's only 10 damage you need to do. If you've killed 3 creatures and then Jeska 0, that's a kill. Falthis also works really well with one of these enchanted with, because that's 21 damage and they just die. Your final main way of winning is similar to the I'm going to recast Jeska a bunch plan, where you have a bunch of cards that say, when a creature dies, do odd damage, and you have a bunch that say, when a creature dies, do 2 damage. And that adds up quite fast, especially if you have multiple of these in play, especially a Conrad. But yeah. Say, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoy the deck if you choose to build it. Bye!